What is up, guys, and welcome back to another Bojanian vlog. So, hello. So in this week's entry, I wanted to, similar to last week's entry, kind of provide an extension to one of the, or rather, like a few of the entries I've done recently, right? So, like, as you know, like more like. Normally on this entry, on this channel rather, well, I mean, I say normally, right? There's really no kind of normal, like, like kind of thing on this channel, other than the fact that, like, I do my best to kind of provide my own insights and to kind of, do the whole kind of like build your perspective and tap into your sensitivity, right? But like recently, I've been talking a lot about pain, and how to connect with it and how to kind of transmute it into basically motivation and, kind of renewed connection with life, right? And so some people might see this and they might kind of be thinking like, is this guy some kind of a fucking emo? like, like what the fuck is he, like, or rather, like, some people might even be thinking like, well, I watch people on the internet, particularly ones who kind of give insights predominantly to improve my life and to make my life more positive. So why is this guy like talking so much about pain? In such a like a matter of the fact way, like you should experience pain. If anything, you should learn to transmute it. It's like that. Is that what like I really want to be watching? And like, in this entry, I'm going to address those people and also to the regular viewers. You guys who follow me and subscribe to me. Thank you. Like hopefully it will give like some insight as well, into like why I'm talking about pain, why I've been focused on pain so much, and how like you can in your life better embrace this thing that we call pain and suffering, right? So why do I talk about pain so much? Is it because I want to talk about pain? Yes and no. Mostly no. Like, you think that if I were given the choice between like talking about like inspiration and positive change and connection and like the physical manifestation of oneness on this planet, in this reality where like everyone realizes that they are all part of this indivisible whole and we all get along and we all make like the most kick-ass stuff that we can. If you want to be a musician, be a musician. If you want to be the best fucking artist or architect or business person or whatever it is, beauty expert, whatever or energy healer, like whatever it is that you want to do, we should all just do it, right? And absolutely, like that's part of my channel. But given a choice between that, so like given a choice between that and talking about pain, and not being able to do the things that you want to do, and people being mean to you, and you having like weird dark thoughts, violent thoughts, and all of this fucking bullshit, and being a covert narcissist, not really caring about other people when like my whole life I've been trying to rationalize, like I've been trying to convince myself that I should care about people. No, I do care about people. I just need to, I don't know, connect with people more. I'm not a covert, given a choice, which do you prefer? Which do you think I would prefer to talk about, or that anyone would really want to, prefer to talk about? Of course, it's not pain. No one wants to like talk about like how life is shit, and how like we're all getting fucked over, and like society doesn't really care about us, and like everyone's disconnected. And like there's like unrest in the world, and like you see people, and like you just don't know how to relate to most people because they're so like you know, they're just so like in low vibration and all this shit. It's like, I know, I'd rather not talk about this stuff, by and large. The reason I talk about it is because it exists. You know? It only took me... When did I start on this journey? Like, there's many points along the journey, but like the very beginning of this entry for me was in 2010, when I just graduated with not that great a result. I got a 2.2, even though it was from like a decent university, right? In a scientific field, no less, right? You know, like, I graduated and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Like, I didn't know what job I really wanted to do, because all of them seemed like just bleak, you know. Like, at that time I had like a few things, you know. I had some relationship issues. I think I was, you know, and like I was going through a lot during that time, and it just pushed me off the edge, basically. And like, that was the beginning of my journey. From 2010, it's now almost 2018. That's how long I've been on this journey. And during that time, I learned the hard way that like pain and suffering exist. You know, like, I tried my best to kind of think positive and to keep downloading and we're all one. And you know, my tone sounds mocking right now. I'm not trying to be mocking. It's just like, I'm just trying to be emphatic in terms of what I've personally kind of encountered on my journey, right? But like, yeah, like all these years, like I've been trying, like, and like I have succeeded in some ways, right? But the point at which I started to really change in a positive way was when I embraced pain. You know, and I say it like it's so final, but like it's an ongoing process. Because the thing is, not only does pain exist, but you will continue to feel it as long as you are physically incarnate. Maybe someday, you know, hey, let's not limit, you know, our expectations here. You know, like, I for one am someone who is open to possibility, right? You know, I you know, never say never, right? That's one of my catchphrases. I did not steal it from Justin Bieber, you know, but like, as long as, you know, and someone might invent some contraption or like do something with genetics or cellular biology that kind of takes away our need to experience pain and all of this stuff, right? But like, I don't know if it will happen. Again, like, I try to keep an open mind, but like, I don't know that a physically incarnate being... Okay, like, people, like, you know, you could argue that like humans feel probably more suffering than most other animals because of our ability to be self-aware, right? The more self-aware and conscious you are, the more suffering you probably have to go through, right? Does a tree feel sorrow? Maybe. Like, honestly, maybe I'm being a dick right now, and maybe they do. Some people might even argue that, you know, trees and other like kind of like non-inanimate or like, you know, life forms, right? I say inanimate, like, by that I mean like they don't move and breathe like humans and other, like, you know, kind of mobile animals do, right? Or insects or bacteria or whatever, right? But like I think that like most people would agree that like human, like, you know, the tree, okay, a tree does not experience existential pain. A tree is not like, oh fuck, I'm destined to grow on this lump of rock for the rest of time, and then I will... What even is me? I'm this structure, but in like a couple of years' time, I will completely... Maybe someone will have chopped me down, and maybe I'll be this tree. Which tree is me? Which tree is me? You know, like, no, like, lesser life forms, and I'm saying that like in reference to like how like human beings have like higher brain function. Again, higher, lesser, you know, these are just comparative terms, like they're not meant to be like derogatory or anything, but like so sorry tree, I hope I didn't offend you. Like, yeah, like trees, animals, like animals to a greater extent probably, because they have, like, a lot of animals have, if not all animals, depending on, like, I'm not even sure about the classification, but like any being with a central nervous system probably feels more like kind of like suffering, I suppose, in that sense, than something like trees or like plants or even fungi, right, that don't have a central nervous system, right? But even then, right, if you are even if you can't feel existential pain, like a tree can't, right? Then but you will still face the destruction of your form. And it's getting dark, so I might activate impromptu light source, baby. Come on, please, please work with. Okay, yeah. So even though a tree cannot feel the same kind of existential pain as a human might, a tree nonetheless has to face destruction because it is physically incarnate, right? And because humans have the capacity to like process suffering and to resist what is, the destruction of form being a permanent fixture of this at least this reality, right, means that we will probably be feeling pain until there is no physical existence anymore. AKA, as long as we are physically incarnate, whether as humans or as some other being in some other remote part of the universe, there will probably be pain and suffering. Wow! Is that not a reason to get your revolver out? Stick it in your mouth. I'm joking. Sorry, I'm joking. Distasteful joke. I apologize, right? I'm just trying to be weirdly funny. I'm a weirdo unless you didn't know, right? Unless you couldn't tell. But like... a weirdo who treats such grave subjects with inappropriate and flippant humour. Oh my god, I'm so weird. But anyway, joking aside, right, like, human beings will always feel pain and suffering as long as you're alive. That being the case, maybe we should talk about it. Maybe we should be like, okay, seeing as this thing is here, and I will continue to experience it as long as I'm alive, maybe I should try to figure it out at least. Whilst I still have the capacity to figure things out, which is similar to pain, something that humans will always be able to do as long as they're alive, is to figure shit out and arrive at new revelations for things, then like maybe we should try and figure it out, right? And what I have figured out so far, I'm only a young lad of 29. To some, I may not be young anymore. To anyone who's younger than like 30, I'm probably not young anymore, right? But like, from what I have gathered, right, pain is something that A, you always have to face, but B, is something that connects you to life. Because being a part of life, being something that like we all wish wasn't there, but it is there because it is the other half of joy and ecstasy and peace, right? It is pain, suffering, and chaos. That being the case, if you learn to connect with your pain, then you are connecting more fully with life. You know? And it will, if you allow it to, right? It will, if you allow it to, give you such a high, really. You know, I don't know if it's like a masculine thing, because they do say that men like triumph through adversity, whereas women triumph more through like kind of love, right? You know, that's just how it is, right? Doesn't mean that you can't be loving as a man or that you can't be like a champion as a woman, right? It's just like that's just how it is by default, right? When you look at the genders, right? But like, as a man, like, when I now connect with pain, and like it's a rough process, right? I say connect with pain like it's like you're connecting a USB into a USB port, right? It's not quite the same thing. Connecting with your pain is very sobering. It really kind of like takes you to the very core of who you are. When you face like your shortcomings, when you face shit that isn't going well, right, you know, when you face running out of money and all these like things, right, these challenges, when you face getting older, aging, right, like it's like a punch in the face, you know. Can anyone argue that the punch in the face is pleasant? Or anything, really? Even someone, like, insulting you. Or, like, being passive-aggressive with you, to you. Is it pleasant? No. But are there people who honor that? Who say, like, I like it. I like it when someone punches me in the face. I like it when I face adversity. I like it when people, like, flip me off or, like, insult me or belittle me because it motivates me to become stronger, or whatever the rationalization is, right? Have you heard people say that? Yes. Why? Is it because they like pain? I don't know. Like, if I may be so bold, I don't think it's that at all. I don't think that they like pain at all, because I don't fucking like pain. You think I like pain? You think, ow, you think I like that shit? Maybe I do. Don't judge, but no. No, like, the reason they say they like pain is because they release resistance to it. They learn to connect with it. They learn to see in being able to experience it. And again, like I say, there are some things in life that you're just like, okay, this makes sense. I'm going to pursue that. And you pursue it and it works and it's great, right? Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe that's a good meal. Maybe that's a relationship. You could argue that some of these things aren't like this, but, you know, there are certain things that you're like, okay, I'm going to set my mind, I'm going to make goals and I'm going to get that thing, right? That's spirituality 101, right? It's like you're creating and you're expanding and you're inspiring, you're taking in breath and you're making things and you're solving problems and you're becoming the strongest version of yourself. I'm an asshole, or rather I'm a weirdo. But like, but are all things like that? No. Is that the attitude I had with my own suffering and my own shortcomings? I'm like, I'm going to accept the fact that I am a covert narcissist, that I don't really care about people, even though I try my best to convince myself that I do. You know, I'm going to fucking do that. Bish bash bosh, here's the game plan, here's the business plan, I'm going to do it, right? No. Because is narcissism something that you really want to be part of your experience? No. If being a piece of shit is like pain that you can't get over, is that shit something that you want to admit readily to people, let alone yourself, let alone other people? No. So the shit that you disown, and what do we call this in the spiritual community? Shadow work. Spirituality 2.0, right? As Teal Swan coined it, right? And that is what happens with pain, is you will push it away, and it makes complete, perfect sense why you would push it away. No one can logically fault you, right? You can do anything. And I'm sure people do anything to escape pain. They escape, they succumb to addiction, they manipulate. I say they, I mean I, because I'm part of that they group, right? They cower. They waste their time doing things that is just being busy, really, and not really like anything that really contributes real value to your own life or someone else's life. We do that shit to escape pain. and it's like, and people focus on the symptoms of that. Like, people are like, oh, he's addicted to gambling. That means he's losing money. Losing money is the problem. Or like, oh, he's escaping. He's losing all of his friends and becoming a loser. That's the problem. No, that's the fucking symptom. Right? The problem is that these people, myself included, are trying to escape pain. Because escaping pain is fine. Because we're all trying to do it. That's why no one gives a shit. No one like ridicules you for doing it. They only ridicule you when like you're doing an activity which is a mere symptom of you trying to escape your pain, and it's affecting their lives. You know, people aren't looking at things like addiction like, oh my god, this poor person, he's trying to escape pain. We need to do something about that. We need to teach him to connect with the pain and to realize that pain is a wonderful thing, not in of itself. Pain is a fucking shitty thing, but not in and of itself. But the beautiful thing is being able to breathe it in and be compassionate with that side of you that pains. That's the beautiful side of things. But no, it's because this asshole is losing all of my money gambling, and it's hurting me, or they're like playing video games and not coming out like a normal human being. And I'm being, you know, an asshole, but like the main point is that like we're all doing it, and that's why no one blames anyone else for doing it, because we're all doing it. You know, you can't not have sympathy for that. You know, you know, and so like that's why. It's like the reason I talk so much about pain. It's not in the way that most people, or that, you know, like a normal logical person would think, because logic dictates that you shouldn't, like, even law of attraction. It's like, you know, people understand, at least on a conceptual level, that what you focus on persists. What you focus on, you will manifest, right? That's like the key tenet of law of attraction, right? And so it follows logically that you absolutely, positively, indubitably not focus on pain. Because that you will get more pain. And you will get more pain in a way. Right? So it makes absolutely no logical sense why you should ever focus on pain. Let alone connect with it. Or connect with it, let alone focus on it. So am I talking about pain because it's like the next life hack that you need to do in order to be light and consciousness? No. Ironically, it leads to that when you learn to connect with pain. But the reason I talk about pain is not because pain itself is a worthwhile pursuit. Because some of us might be able to do the mental gymnastics to say, okay, maybe he has a point. Or maybe he's trying to express something like pain is a sacred thing. And yeah, you know, I think that, you know, it's like, we as spiritual people, like, we're open-minded, right? We try to, like, fit on different perspectives. But, like, what I've discovered is with pain is, like, you can do that, and it might work temporarily, but like, eventually, it will hurt you. Because that's what pain does. Pain is like, is not like a binary unit. That's like a weird ass analogy. What I'm trying to say is pain is pain. Sometimes we subconsciously, through trying to understand it, a lot of spiritual people, including myself, like, we have the best intentions. We're like, I just want to connect with pain because I know that other people are in pain. So maybe if I learn to embrace pain, then, like, I can help other people who are in pain. Does that sound like a noble intention to you? Because that sounds pretty noble to me. You know, all of us who are trying to do that. You know, we're like, no, like, I just want to embrace pain, right? I want to embrace pain. That is the sentiment that all of us spiritual people have. Most of us, you know. the thing is that there's kind of a trick to it, right? Because with those words, I want to embrace pain, the pitfall, unfortunately, is that when you try to embrace pain, even when I use the word connect, right, it kind of implies that you try to be like loving with pain. You try to be loving with it. You're like, oh no, pain is light, pain is love, right? That's kind of what we end up doing. But what does that do? It takes pain and it resists it. Not directly, but that's the end result. That's the net result. Because pain is pain. Darkness is darkness. Ugliness is ugliness. Suffering is suffering. Unconsciousness is unconsciousness. We try with the noblest intentions to turn pain and unconsciousness and suffering into love. But there's only one problem, and that is that pain and darkness and suffering are not love. They are the polar opposite of love. That's the thing. That's the thing that we all try and do, and we try. We try so hard. But that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to turn something into something else when it really isn't that thing. Pain is pain. Right? And so in those moments where you feel pain and you try to make yourself feel better by embracing pain, does it work? I wish it did. Right? I wish it did. The thing is, like, okay, I have to be careful here because, like, I'm sounding a bit preachy, right? Like, it's not so something that's so simple that I can explain it with words. Sometimes you have that intention. The thing is, like, having that intention is absolutely 100% fine. If anything, it is the most fucking awesome thing that you could do, is to be like, I want to connect and embrace pain. That is not the problem. Whenever you feel pain and you're like, I just want to understand and connect with it, even if you end up trying to connect, like trying to make it into love, your intention is fine. The only tweak we need to make is just like the steps, the process, right? And the process is you say your intention, which is, I want to connect with pain. But then another side comes in where you learn through like many botched attempts at trying to like subconsciously trying to turn pain into love. You learn that pain is pain. So what do? You have to enter the feeling of pain, the vibration of pain. I use that word a lot, vibration. I don't want to use it in this context really because like it's strictly not what I was talking about in previous century. You can still say vibration, right? But it's pointing to a different thing, is what I'm saying. You know, like, what does that mean though? It means you have to be in pain. That's what connection means. It doesn't, unfortunately, we learn that like connecting to pain does not mean like feeling good about it. It does not mean feeling good about it. The thing is though, this is the thing. This is what I mean by it's not something that's so simple that you can explain it with language, because it's kind of like this weird process that happens, right? You first, you're hurt. You feel the resistance. You're like, you're agitated and you don't want to be agitated and you're attacking yourself, right? But then like the intention comes as a conscious being, as someone who's committed to consciousness. Or at the very least emotional like intelligence, right? You're like, okay, pain is here again. I know that in order to move forwards and to come out of this experience with like the most kind of like connection and sensitivity and like energetic kind of alignment, I have to connect with pain. And you think that's a concept that you think. You're like, okay, I need to connect with the pain, right? And then as you do it, you kind of try to like feel better. That's your kind of first. That's our kind of first stand. Is like to try and feel better, right? You do it. It's okay, right? Because the more that you learn how to make yourself feel better, the better you are at doing it, right? But like you do that, but then you reach a point where you realize, okay, like there's still something there. I don't know, like it's still there. I feel okay. I don't feel that bad. But there's still something there. Like I'm still agitated slightly. I'm still angry slightly. I'm still hurt. And I don't know what to do about it, right? And as you're thinking, I don't know what to do about it, right? You suddenly remember, be the pain. You know, be the pain. You know, wear a frown. You know, like furrow your eyebrows. Breathe like heavily and inconsistently. Or not. Feel the resistance. This is the other side of it, right? Because as we're trying to feel better, we're resisting the pain. We're trying to shove it down, right? So like feel that. You know, feel it. And feel how you just shut your body down. How your face is deadpan. How like you're trying your very darndest to appear like there's nothing wrong with you. Because there's nothing wrong with me. This is like, like fucking, I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm not going to let this beat me. Like there is no reason for me to even be that angry right now. There's not, it's just a stupid kid. Just said ching chong wong to me. Has that happened before? Yes. Like, is it going to affect my life that much? No. So like there's no reason for me to be angry right now. And yet, you're still angry. Right? And can you, like I said, like, can you snap your fingers and stop being angry? No, not really. The only thing you can do is to realize that trying to make yourself feel better is not 100% effective. And so you play around with it. This is now where the dance occurs, right? This is why it's difficult to explain, is because like you go from that to then being with the pain and back and forth. So you're like, okay, make myself feel better. Is it working? Is it not? Okay, if it's not working that much, maybe I need to release more darkness and pain. Like, not maybe, like that's really retarded. Not retarded, sorry. But I mean, like, I'm obviously, being a weirdo. Yeah, like, and then you feel that out, and then like you feel when. Like, and then, but the thing is, like, don't, like, there's also a pitfall of like becoming too. I am angry. Okay, the next step is to be pain, so I'm gonna be pain. That can happen to you too. Like, you can kind of become like mentally invested in being hurt or being negative, just to prove to yourself that something is happening. That's the other pitfall. Rather, what you do is that like you feel it out. Sometimes you feel better. When you feel better, feel better. Feel more better. If that even makes sense. But when you feel that's not working, you swing back to pain. You admit to how you feel. You're like, okay, I'm angry. I'm resisting. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I know this will pass. But like, I don't know. I don't know what admitting this will do. I don't know, like, what anything I'm doing right now is doing. But like, at least this is how I feel, I guess. And it's like, I'm a bit annoyed. Probably that cunt who said that shit to me. Stupid kid. I just called him a cunt as well. I'm a cunt for saying that. It's like, yeah. And then you do that, and then eventually, like, you might feel like a bit too, like, you're trying it on. You're trying to like force like the negativity too much, just to prove to yourself that you're being with the pain, and then you move back, right? That's how you do it. Anyway, I kind of went off topic a bit. Like, I'm going to end this entry soon because I did promise in the previous entry that I wouldn't make these too long. But I will say one more thing, which I should have said at the, in the middle of the entry, right? Yeah. So the question for this entry was, why do I talk about pain so much? What? Why have I been talking about pain so much recently? And it's like, am I in pain? I wouldn't say I am. Like, anyway, when I'm doing these entries, but am I in pain in my daily life? Yes. Absolutely. I'm in pain. Like, every day. Not all the time, but I am in pain. Because being in pain is natural. Like, I don't know what else to say about that. Yeah, like, does being in pain mean there's something wrong with you? Yes. Yes. When people say, like, oh, what's wrong? What's the matter? There is something the matter with you when you're in pain. But then it's the higher implication of, like, okay, like, do we need to fix it? No. Yes, but no. AKA, like, we don't have to be like, oh my god, I have to fix this now. What is wrong with me? Why? No, it's just like there's something wrong. Not with me, but like, AKA, like, it's just something that's happening. Right? And yes, I guess you have a point, Mr. or Mrs. Maybe I shouldn't be feeling this way. Maybe I should do something about it. And I guess I will take some steps to deal with it. But I'm not going to condemn the way that I feel. Because that's what some people do. That's what a lot of people do. Is like, they condemn that side of themselves, not knowing that in doing so, they're condemning themselves. We were not taught, as a society of people, how to connect with pain. We were taught to suppress it. We were taught to overinflate it, or to like project it onto other people and then engage in this kind of like feud with other people, right? When really there's nothing like, it's petty, really, for lack of a better word. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but like, that's really what it is. Because we were not taught how to connect with pain. Why is there so much existential dread nowadays? Why are people so like depressed and like, I don't know what's going on with my life? And I'm part of this, right? So like, I'm just, just saying, but like, why? Could it be that we're all trying to shove down something that is a completely natural part of who we are and life itself, because we just weren't taught what that thing is and how to be with it? And that's why I talk about pain. Is it because I'm emo? Yes. If that makes any of you happy, it's because I'm a raving emo. I used to listen to My Chemical Romance and Bullets to my Valentine and cry and seethe. I don't know. I guess that label emo only is useful if it has some kind of a built-in kind of like indication as to like how you can improve. But if it's just a derogatory label that people use on people, then I don't know, like, I like the word emo, because I'm absolutely emo, but like, I don't know if it's useful if you just use it to like, oh, he's emo. Because what's that the same thing as saying? It's like, well, it's like, oh, he's a loser. It's like, I don't know, or well, maybe that's a bad example, because that's just like a straight up insult. But like, if you give someone like a label like, oh, he's an edgelord, even. Like, I'm fucking tempted to use that word because it's like a nice little derogatory like thing that I can use against all of these stupid kids. Obviously I'm not really one to complain, but like, when you look, when how people say that like YouTube comments are usually cancer. Yeah. Like, like edgelord, I love that word. but really but if you call someone an edgelord or an emo, I'm going off topic here, like, who cares, right? But like, yeah, it's just, anyway, the point being, like, if you want to call someone an emo, like, at least like, try to understand where they're coming from, I suppose. You know, I don't know. I need to do that, obviously, more with, like, edgelords on the internet, but, like... Anyway, so, yeah, that's the reason. I wouldn't say that I'm trying to teach, you know, even though I've said that before in these entries, but like, as time has gone on, like, yeah, like, if I had the opportunity to teach people, I'd do it. And I would gladly take on that label of being a teacher, but, like, I don't know if I'm really teaching anyone. Like, it would be nice if that were the case, through me, like, sharing my own insights. You know, if that were the case, champion, mate, you know? But, like, the bottom line is that, like, you know, when you're just depressed and you're just angry and you don't know what to do and you just don't know why the fuck you feel like the way that you feel, like nothing matters, and, like, it's like, what the fuck am I even doing? You know when you feel like that? Maybe it's because if you were to just be like, this is how I feel, and you just, like, sit, maybe, like, you need some practice, because I certainly did. I couldn't do this before, like, because I didn't have the emotional kind of, like, connection to be able to, like, just sit with my feelings. I had to, like, do something. I had to go to a park where I didn't have the internet there and be forced to be with myself to then like, suddenly connect with my feelings. Because before that, I was trying to connect with my feelings while I sat in my house or in my flat, and be frustrated because I'm like, I can't do it. In the same way that, like, you know, how you teach meditation, right? It's like, you're like, focus on this word, and you're like, okay, I'll try that. Okay, I don't know what's happening. I'm just thinking about this word over and over again. Am I supposed to feel good? Am I supposed to start seeing, like, aliens? Like, I don't know what, you know? Sometimes, like, it's a journey. So, like, me simply doing this entry, even if I'm expressing and explaining with my own insights, like, I don't know, like, I'm just expressing, like, you know, if you yourself feel that, like, you do know what I'm saying, but you don't know what the fuck I'm saying at the same time, like, because it's like, okay, like, connect the pain, okay, Bo Jinjin, nice one, thank you, right? Maybe you'll get there, but maybe you just need to try something else. Maybe you need to go out, maybe you need to do something drastic, like, quit your job, I don't know, right, you know, maybe not. You know, I'm not endorsing, like, doing crazy shit for no reason, but, like, you know, doing that thing that you've been meaning to do, right? And I assure you that, like, the flip side of the pain of realizing that pain is forever going to be here with us, and that, like, this thing will keep going endlessly, and we'll always be feeling pain and suffering, and there'll always be pain and suffering in the world. The flip side of that is, because pain and suffering is a permanent fixture in this reality, then it means you have infinite opportunity to connect with pain and finally experience the fullness of being. You know? And that's pretty much the best we can do. And then we can take that, smash that fucking existentialism shit. I'm not saying it's shit, right? But I'm just saying, like, we can get out of that and finally, like, be like, okay, well, I guess I know how to connect with pain now, so that means I can not waste so much of my time worrying about it and start to do stuff that I really enjoy. And if anything, like, whenever pain comes, it's another opportunity, it's another lesson from the University of Life for me to connect with it. And that is why I talk about pain so much. And I will continue to talk about pain because, like I say, pain is something that we will always experience, right? But, like, I'm hoping. Yeah, obviously you don't see me in pain. I guess because I have an image to upkeep on this channel. Like, that's part of it, right? You know, like, it wouldn't make for a very, like, good entry for me to just actually be in pain, you know. But, you know, there's been hints of it, you know, my narcissism entry, for example. But, like, really, you know, most of the time it's just me, like, kind of, like, sitting there and like, being depressed, you know, and then like, I go through my own process of, like, being with my feelings, and eventually I come out the other side. That's pretty much it. Like, rarely am I, like, really, really angry and violent and stuff. Rare, you know. So, you know, but any case, yeah, that's my entry. It's a bit longer than I hoped it would be, but like, there you go. I hope that answers some questions, if you even had any questions. If not, hopefully you were entertained. But anyway, if you have any comments as usual or any thoughts, feel free to plunk them down in that cancer area below. I'm joking. My videos don't have cancer comments. Not yet, anyway. I would have to, like, kind of really expand in order for that to happen, but, like... yeah, really... really, I guess, kind of goes at odds with, like, me actually expanding this channel, but, like... I don't know. Like, I don't know that I have anything in particular to share to the world. So far. You know, if I ever identified a need that people have that I could kind of fulfill on these channels, then maybe, you know, but like as of yet, like I'm just doing these vlogs really, to be honest with you, you know. So anyway, cool. Thank you very much for watching this, guys, as usual. Hope you are doing well. I hope you are continuing to go on your path and being an emotional, conscious badass. Yeah, you know, we need more of you. Uncle Sam needs you. You know, so cool. Like, and I hope that you are continuing to follow your heart, to live in accordance with that, and to share light and consciousness, because even though life is pain, life is also love and consciousness, you know. And when you come out of that pain and suffering, it's when, like, there's another opportunity that comes up. You have the opportunity to connect with pain and to feel the fullness of your existence, and to breathe in that motivation. And then you then move into the other phase, which is love and expansion and light and consciousness, which is what all of us sensitive beings are more used to, you know, in terms of trying to focus on, right, trying to do. When that time comes, all of that baggage from, like, resisting pain and not really knowing how to connect with it, you sweep out, and then you're left with the full focus and intensity of your conscious creation here on planet Earth. So cool. There you go. Yay! So cool. Until next time, guys. Yeah, I hope you're having a good one. And I will see you in the next Bojin Jin vlog. Alrighty. Peace out, guys. Bye.